YouTube and welcome back to the 5th video tutorial about Anatella. I am Frank van den Bergen, CEO of Timmy. So in the previous videos we learned how to create an Anatella graph and to import data and to transform this data in various ways. And we ended up creating a small bar chart. Unfortunately, our bar chart does not want to appear anymore. Indeed, if I'm clicking here the output pin of my box, nothing happens anymore, while before Anatella was displaying a bar chart. So what's happening? Your bar chart doesn't appear anymore because basically I lied to you since the very beginning of this tutorial. I told you that each time you click the output pin of a box, Anatella is running your graph to show you the table at that point. And actually it's not entirely true. What's really happening when you click the output pin of a box are three different things. First, Anatella executes the data transformation up to that point, the point where you clicked. Second, Anatella shows you the output table just here in the data preview window. And third, Anatella saves the output table on your hard drive. You see all these yellow circles there. They are actually telling me that there is already a result table saved on the hard drive. These results tables were created by all the previous runs that we did. If I click an output pin that has already a yellow circle, just like that here, Anatella won't compute anything. It will just access the output table that is already saved on your hard drive and display it here inside the data preview window. In technical terms, we will say that the results of the computation are inside the cache. Or in other words, there exists a hard drive cache already available with the results that I need to see. You might have noticed that one of these circles is not yellow but green. This one. The green circle indicates which table is currently displayed inside the data preview window. Each time I click a yellow circle, it turns green, and I directly see the cached table at that point inside the data preview window. Let's now go back to our histogram chart, this one. And as you can see, Anatella didn't display a bar chart. This is because Anatella didn't run the box, because Anatella already knows what's the output table of the box. It's a table with only one cell that says OK. This table is already inside the hard drive cache, so there is no need to rerun again the histogram box for a second time to compute this output table. Since Anatella does not run the histogram box anymore, no bar chart window appears anymore. Now, I still want to see my histogram, so at that point I have two options. My first option is to delete the cache, so that when I click the output pin, Anatella is forced to recompute this output pin. So to do that, right-click the box, delete hard drive cache, and then I can recompute the cache, and I get my bar chart again. This is one first option. The other option is just right-click the box again, but this time you can just select Run. And when you select Run, this will always execute the box, even if there is already a cache or anything. You might think that we created this cache system just to annoy you and to annoy all the users that are learning how to use Anatella. Of course not. The cache system might seem cumbersome and annoying to you now, but in reality it's very useful. I think that it might even be one of the coolest things inside Anatella. To explain you why it's so cool, I quickly use an example of Anatella data transformation graph that originates from a small telecom. So let's open this example. Okay. This graph contains a small and anonymized subset of all the business rules that are used by a small telecom operator to create the list of all the customers that will be included inside a marketing campaign to promote an ADSL subscription at the end of the month. The objective of these business rules is to get the highest conversion rate as possible during our marketing campaign, so that we get the highest number of buyers. Basically, these rules are saying that we must only include inside our marketing campaign the customers that are the most likely to buy our product, because in this way we increase the conversion rate. And the optimal selection of these precise customers, it implies creating a very complex set of rules. As you can see here, my graph includes many different boxes. Let's now assume that this little calculator box just there, here, it contains a mistake. In other words, the analyst that created this graph initially made a bug inside the box. Just here. So to fix the box, first step is to see the output table. So I'm clicking here and I'm seeing the output table. I can even have a summary of one of the columns. So I right-click the column and select Create Chart as Nominal Variable. And as you can see, the word shop is written in two different ways. And here there is an S missing. The letter S is missing at the end. So I will need to fix this little expression here. To fix the error, it's very difficult because this expression is quite complex. So I'll most certainly need several attempts before finding the correct fix. And at each attempt, I can modify the expression and click here to see the output table and check if the fix is okay. Unfortunately, the time required to see this output table is, most of the time, it's very long. Because Anatella needs to recompute and re-execute many different boxes. There are plenty of boxes on your left side. And it can take up to 15 minutes to recompute all these boxes. Hopefully, when you are using Anatella, there is a trick that allows you to see instantaneously your output table. And this trick is very important to make you more efficient when fixing bugs. And this trick is actually quite simple. You just click here. More precisely, you click here, just here, to see the table just before the box that you are debugging. This will create a cache that contains the output table at that precise point. In this particular graph, creating this cache at that particular point will take some time, around 15 minutes. But then, when the cache is there, everything becomes instantaneous. You can, at that time, click the output pin of the calculator box and you'll instantaneously see the output table there. Everything is instantaneous because Anatella reuses the little cache from the filter box there, instead of restarting everything every time from scratch, from the very beginning of the data transformation. And so the output table is computed instantaneously because actually Anatella just needs to execute only one box, the calculator box, instead of plenty of boxes. To the best of my knowledge, I think that such a cache mechanism is really unique. Only Anatella has it. It allows you to very quickly and very easily debug all your data transformation. Thanks to this unique cache mechanism that is included into Anatella, you can create easily the most complex data transformation because it's possible to really easily debug one by one all the little boxes. And since this functionality is unique, it also means that Anatella is really currently the only tool where you can really easily create the most complex and the most refined data transformation that are 100% adapted to your business need. What I mean is that, of course, it's always possible to create some good data transformation with any data management tool, but the lack of debugging capabilities of cache mechanism, where you can instantaneously validate step by step your data transformation, is a blocking factor in all these other tools. This will actually prevent you to create complex and refined data transformation that your business needs. Only Anatella offers you all the freedom to create anything that you might need. To summarize, this cache mechanism allows you to, first, quickly debug your data transformation graph. Second, easily create iteratively, really refined and complex data transformation graphs that exactly fits the needs of your business. Third, actually this cache mechanism has many other benefits. All these benefits are explained in a separate video that illustrates the capabilities of Anatella that are related to iterative work and debugging. The link to this other video is inside the description here below. Let's now resume the training about the advanced cache mechanism included inside Anatella. Let's illustrate one more time how the cache mechanism works with an additional small example. Let's go back to our initial data transformation graph, this one. Let's say that I want to save my results here, not inside an histogram, but inside an Excel file. So I put aside this histogram, I go to output, and I take the Excel file just here. Okay. Okay, browse, and I enter a name. Let's say out. Okay. And then I execute the box. Let's see if Anatella created the out.xlsx file. It's there. That's really cool. Now pause the video, add the little white Excel box, configure it, run it. Please check that you received a correct Excel file at the end. Welcome back, YouTubers. Now, just for the sake of the example, let's delete our little Excel file. So I'm just clicking here and select delete. Yes. Are you sure? Yes. Now I want you to use Anatella to recreate this little Excel file that we just deleted. You can pause the video now, and if you don't manage to recreate the Excel file, just unpause the video to see the solution. So the trick to recreate the Excel file is to notice that there is a cache here, at that point, the little circle. So if I'm clicking here, Anatella won't compute anything. It will not recreate our Excel file. It will just display the pre-computed cache. To recreate the Excel file, I need first to delete the cache, right click, delete the cache, and then I run again. And the Excel file is there again. Congratulations on learning how to use the cache mechanism included inside Anatella. This mechanism allows you to easily create and thereafter debug any type of data transformation, from the simplest data transformation to the most complex and the most refined data transformation. You can now proceed to the next section of this tutorial. To do so, click here. See you!